You know, every day we get these phone calls from people that robocalls, whatever, scam calls, big scam calls, you know, saying that, you know, you need to call the IRS, blah, 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 blah. And for the most part, we're pretty sensible about it. We know it's a scam. But what about the elderly? The elderly get these, you know, these calls, and they're not sure how to respond to them. Well, you got to protect yourself. And I brought in Tina Seymour Demeron with Seymour Law Firm, who is also my personal attorney. But I wanted her to come in and talk about this because this is a problem with seniors.
Big problem, and it's becoming an even bigger problem because so many people are at home during COVID, and the scammers are looking for new venues to scam people.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we're talking about calling up, saying, I mean, just like the thing about the IRS. You owe money with the IRS.
Well,
and most elderly don't.
Well, most people don't, and the thing about it is the IRS is not going to start with a phone call. They're going to start with a letter, usually an ugly letter. If they do contact you, it's going to either be by mail initially or an agent coming by your house. Like my office, if I have someone that's one of my clients and they get behind on their income taxes or something along those lines, the first line of communication is going to be that first letter saying, hey, you owe this, either to their accountant, their attorney, or to them personally. The second one may be a follow-up letter or certified letter, and then they continue on. But it's not going to be a phone call that says you owe $5,000, and if you don't give us, go to Walmart right now and get $5,000 in gift cards and send it to us, or send us the back of the card so we know how to pull the money off, you're going to jail today. Mm-hmm. That's never going to be how the IRS operates. That's always going to be a scam.
Yeah, the IRS is not going to ask you for gift cards or Apple cards or anything like that.
Or Venmo or anything along those lines.
No. The first step of this is really communication, isn't it, Tina?
You have to talk to, and it's not just elderly, it's vulnerable adults as well. Anyone who may fall to that type of talking or that type of pressure. Mm-hmm. I've had several clients who get phone calls, and these people are very savvy. They go online, they research you, they find out who your family is. They look on Facebook, they look on social media, and they see who your grandchildren's names are. They know your address because Google, 9 times out of 10, we can find out a person's address just by Googling them. They'll call you and say, well, you know, Mr. Tabor, we heard that your son is in trouble. He's in jail right now in Atlanta. And your son may be visiting Atlanta on Facebook and you posted it. Mm-hmm. And they're going to say, is your address so-and-so? And you're going to say, yes. Well, your son is in jail. He had his one phone call, but he called his girlfriend, Shelly, or whatever her name is, because they pulled it from social media. They're not just going to call randomly. They're going to know personal information about you. The good ones do their research, unfortunately. Then they're going to say, so I'm calling on his behalf. We're with the Sheriff's Department. If you will post bail over the phone, we can go ahead and release him, and then he can call you and he can verify where you can pick him up. Otherwise, he's going to be sitting in jail until the judge gets back in, and that could be a week from now.
It's a shame social media can become our own worst enemy.
It's become a tool that scammers use very efficiently. And your first instinct is to protect your son.
Right.
The first thing you need to do is communicate with your son. Reach out. I've had so many people IM me through Facebook saying, I'm stuck in Canada. I need money and you're my best friend. And the first thing I do is I pick up the phone and call my friend and say,
what are you doing in Canada?
Well, she was in Canada visiting with her friends. They vacation once a year. So
and
she
probably
had been
posted that
Canada.
She was in Canada. Exactly. And that's where they find out.
And so I said, you've been hacked, you need to change your password. And sure enough, I looked on her Facebook page and several people had posted. But if that would have been my granddaughter or daughter and they wouldn't answer the phone, or I'm on the phone now, and they're saying if you don't pay it right now, worse things are going to happen. They don't let you hang up and confirm. They want it now. That's when you know the timeliness, the pressure. That's 99% of the time a scam.
I saw a thing on TikTok just yesterday where one of those scammers had called a police department.
Yes.
And the guy just played right along with them and everything, and they were trying to go get, you need to go get an Apple card.
Poetic justice, yes.
And everything. So it's like, well, give me your address. Like, no. You have to get an Apple card and send it to us via over something like that. But like you said, they're not going to do something like that. They're going to send you a letter.
Yes.
Or a subpoena.
Yes. I mean, your communication is going to be much more efficient than a phone call at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning. Another thing you need to understand is that the type of scams that are out there, it's not just People calling and asking for money. It can be a charity. It can be someone that's trying to call and say, I'm with this association. They'll look on Facebook or they may not. They just might find something that's going to tear at the heartstrings. We're with the Children's Hospital of Cleveland or something along those lines. And my mom fell prey to a couple of those and I had to reverse them, in that she was giving money to a police officers association that wasn't even officially affiliated with any police officers association. It was legit, but the money just kind of sat there and it was being used for administrative overhead. None of it was going back to police officers and their families, but they had the spiel down. We're going to do this. We're going to take care of widows. We're going to have college funds for the kids.
I've gotten those.
Yes.
From police officers.
You need to call, you need to go on the website and check if they're legit. You need to Google search and see if they're true charities. You need to check and make sure, and if there is a charity that's near and dear to your heart along those lines, find a local one. You can walk in and actually touch the brick and mortar building, actually see what they're doing, and give money to those type of charities. These random calls, what they're doing is getting your credit card number, your personal information. They're going to hit your account for $1 or $200, and they can immediately take more out, or just take out the amount you gave them. But if you extrapolate that by 1,000, 2,000 people, that's a lot of money.
The sad thing is that sometimes your own family can take advantage of you.
That's the one that really hurts the most. I've had several cases cross my desk this last year, and while I can't talk about the specifics of the cases because some of them are still ongoing, you have to be very aware that those closest to you may not always have your best interests at heart. They may fall into financial times, and I call it the fraud triangle: motive, opportunity, justification. Look, I'm behind on bills, I'll get $100 from dad's account or mom's account. Okay, I got away with it. Well, I really need the money. They've got so much money. Maybe I'll take $1,000 out next time, or maybe I'll write this check, or maybe I'll talk to my parents and tell them I need this money and they give it to me. And the problem is, as a family member, if you have someone who is elderly or a vulnerable adult or any position where they may be taken advantage of, you need to communicate. Talk to them. Make sure that their finances are viewed on a monthly basis. Make sure that they don't ever sign anything without letting more than one family member look at it. I've had several cases where people have signed deeds. I had one that was reversed in Pearl River County a few years ago, where the daughter had the dad sign the deed. He didn't even know he was signing a deed to his own house. The next day, he calls his son and says, "She's kicked me out of my own house."
Wow.
And it was reversed in Pearl River County, but how many people get away with that?
That's amazing.
And they don't even know what they're signing.
Tina, thank you so much for being here and educating us on this. If you think you might have been a part of a scam or fraud or something like that, call Seymour Law Firm. They're located in Ocean Springs.